Blog Talk Radio.
Hey everybody, it's your girl Sunny D. Welcome to tonight's show. It is January 11th, 2018. See, now this time I remember to say 18. Anyway.
There you go.
Right. Guys, you want to say hi?
What's up? It's your boy Clint. You already know. Holla at me. Let's get it.
What up, y'all? It's your boy Willie Styles. Thanks for joining.
And we got a special guest host tonight. You want to introduce yourself?
I'm sorry, I hear you.
I said we got a special guest tonight. I said, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hola, it's me, Damon.
One of our faithful listeners, one of our good friends of the show.
Yes. So, definitely glad to have him on tonight. So, guys, if you're listening right now, you're on blogtalkradio.com/GFC radio show. If you want to chime in on the conversation, phone lines open 657-383-1155. And if you are on Twitter, you want to tweet us at GFC_radio using the hashtag GFT radio. And a little shameless plugging, go on to teespring.com/GFT radio. No, is it /stores /GFT radio? To get y'all some GFT radio merchandise.
It's definitely not a shameless plug. It is definitely a regular plug. No shame involved. No shame involved.
No shame at all. Right.
Yeah. I've been rocking my shirts all week. Like, boom, look, get one.
Yeah, I see.
Serious. I think I got all the shirts, I believe. I think I got all the shirts.
What you say, Damon?
I said my next paycheck, I'm donating to give me a shirt.
Appreciate it.
Yes. Before we kick off the show, we're going to briefly go into how our week was. So who want to kick it off first?
I guess I will. My week was regular. You feel me? I've been having a lot of political debates this week. I don't know if I would say all of them was political. Mainly about race relations in the country, really. I've been going online all week, you know what I mean, just back and forth with people, and about that and about the little Me Too thing that's going on, and how, that it seems like it's okay, but when it's okay to defend a woman, but when stuff like that happens to a man, like with the Genuine situation, everybody looking sideways, he get the blame. You know what I mean? He's transphobic, homophobic, and all that. So I've been.
I didn't understand that. I didn't like that because I was like.
Yeah, so I've been really going in on that with people online all week. Outside of that, it's been regular. It's regular work stuff. You feel me? But I've been having some healthy debates. But we're gonna talk about that at a later date. We're gonna get into those topics.
Okay. All right. Yeah, my week was kind of regular too. Just kind of still getting back to reality after the holiday break and all that. And I really have much of a break, but I did take a couple of days off here and there. So I still had to get caught up on some work and that kind of thing. Been having some back issues. So thankfully I was introduced to chiropractic care by my lovely queen. She took care of getting me to a chiropractor while I was in Florida, and then when I came back here, I found a good doctor up here as well. So I went to my first appointment up here and got some relief from some severe back pain. So definitely, when your body's getting broken down, listen to it. Go get checked out. Go get taken care of. You don't want to wait. Don't do like I did and wait. It gets worse. So definitely listen to your body. So that's how my week's going. I'm finally able to stand up and sit down without excruciating pain. So thank you, Dr. Walker. And that happened.
Right?
Yeah. Once that back go, man, ain't nothing you can do, bro. I know the feeling.
Exactly.
I love the chiropractor.
Ain't no joke. Ain't no joke when you're back, man.
Well, see, I only had back spasms. I don't know about the other part, but when you get back spasms, that's a whole nother ball game.
Yeah. anything wrong with once you get any problems with that back, it's over, man. It is over.
Right.
Yeah. Damon, how was your week?
Not as memorable as Willie Charles or Clint, but just dealing with the kids, listening to genuine debate. I could just sum it up real simple. Men, unless you're homosexual, like to kiss women and be kissed by women. If a transgender person kisses, is unwanted, it's not because he's homophobic or anything like that. He just, chooses to stick to women. I don't know why they have to label him like that, but that's topic for another.
Right.
But yeah, I feel you on that. Mm-hmm.
I definitely feel you.
Nice
rainy day.
That had me heated this week. I ain't gonna lie.
When I saw that, I was like, why are they mad at him? Like, come on, that's a grown-ass man that's not homosexual and don't want somebody that's questionable putting their lips on him. I mean, simple.
Right.
It's just like if that was a female rejecting the male, it would be understood why is it any different. But I guess
we kind of could tie that into the days. We could kind of tie that into the night.
Yeah, we'll definitely get there.
We probably have to swing back around to this one because it's kind of the
will.
same vein. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. But my week was just quiet. I mean, I enjoyed my week. Nothing happened. I ain't trying to kill the children. I didn't want to walk out the house. I mean, I quit my job a couple times in my head, but I went back. It was an okay week. I ain't have nothing going on, so that's good for me at least. I'm gonna relish in that.
Sometimes no news is good news.
Absolutely, and that's exactly what it is in this moment. So we're gonna celebrate my week. Hallelujah! But let's kind of get into these topics. Do y'all want to jump right into the genuine and then go elsewhere? Y'all want to just jump right in?
No, let's go over the outline. Let's do the outline, and then we'll tie it in.
Okay, so guys, the topic for tonight is sex sells, but has it sold us out? Who came up with this idea? I think it was a mixture between you and Willie Clint, right?
Yeah, well, I was just, like I was having a conversation similar to what Willie said. He was just having a conversation with his friends, and it was just like, everything, everywhere I turn, everything is sexualized. You feel me? It's like, I got a young daughter. A lot of stuff, it's like she's being bombarded with it. You feel me? From all angles. We are. It's like everything from relationships. It's like sex is the major thing. Everybody just wants to talk about sex. And I'm like, you feel me? That's kind of one of our low desires. That's not our higher self. So it's like we're not. How did we get here? That was one of my main thoughts. Like, how did we get here? Or is it just me? Am I bugging? Am I looking at things weird?
Well, that's what's been changed.
All right. You know what I mean? So that's where the topic came from with me. And then when I related to y'all, Woody was like, he was just having the same conversation with his friend.
Yeah, so my exposure to the topic was basically thinking about kind of in the same vein where we're getting bombarded, right? But then also we were discussing why is it important, right? Why, from a marketing sense and from a profit point, why is it important to push sex in order to sell product, right? We were talking about music, Nicki Minaj and a couple other artists, talking about the media, a lot of the sensational stories that they put out, and talking about other, forms of media, music and TV and movies and all that kind of stuff. So there's a lot out there in clothes too. You got a lot of stuff that's wrapped up in sex. So I think that's also why we chose the sex sales title, because that's what they're pushing. But is it too much? That's the question. Is it just too much, and why is it important?
I think it absolutely is too much. It's, every time you turn around, I think we talked about it from the past show, and I can't remember which one. How he said, back in the day when you used to listen to certain or watch certain shows, they would cut out the sex scene or just some type of close, like even rated R stuff didn't make it TV because they would cut out certain things, or if it made it to TV, they would cut out a lot of the show or a lot of the scenes. And whereas now you liable to watch a regular TV show that's supposed to be a family show, and it's just all over the place, and you're like, kind of like, oh, wait a minute.
Yeah. I was watching. The show didn't last long. Martin did a new show with I think it was Kelsey Grammer a couple years ago, and I was and I'm watching one of the reruns, and like, mind you, this is a network television show, and it's like in one of the episodes, and I've seen these scenes before, growing up, to where they have to go to like the where the sperm donor, and he's in there. They got the porno playing in the background, and I'm looking at this like, damn, this is network TV. Like, this not even that type of show. You feel me? This is a show about lawyers. You feel me? And like how is this? You know, I understand it's supposed to be comedy, but you know what I mean? Like, this too much. You feel me? I can't even watch this and my daughter downstairs. You know what I mean? Because this thing, like, I don't even want her hearing that. You know, and it's not even supposed to be that type of show. And you know, the piggyback of what Willie was saying about the sex sales, you know, that was one of the reason why I came up with that title, is because, you know, like, for instance, on IG, you know, a lot of got these IG models now, and a lot of them just, you know, all they doing is they're not really selling the product, they just selling their bodies. You feel me? You got these women, they just getting on here, they got, you feel me, they label themselves public figures for some odd reason, and they're just, you feel me, they sitting there half naked, just all over the place, and it was this female, this woman, she's like a, you know, the fit thing is in, everybody want to get fit, so she's one of these, you know, personal trainers, and she had posted something, she was like, she feels sorry for a lot of women that just get on here, you know, and showing their body for no reason, just for attention. You know, some of us, you know, we're doing it because we're either models or whatever in this part, and we're just showing you our shoots, or some of us, we're into fitness, and we're showing you our body, we're showing you our workouts to show you the results. But, you know, most of y'all, the majority of them, are just on there, you know what I mean, naked for no reason, just to get their followers up so they can sell some flat tummy tea or something like that none of this stuff works. You know what I mean? And just to get some ad revenue on their page. And it's like, is that what we're considering talent nowadays? And it goes back to the topic to where we was talking about self-esteem and women getting alterations to their bodies. It's like, this is the reason why, to me. It's because we're chasing these low desires, and we're force-feeding, telling these women that they got to look a certain way, and, you know, your body has to be a certain way. It's all about sex appeal, when it's really not. It's really not, you know. You feel me? That's just my view.
Damon?
Yeah, back to Clint. I can go back even further to kind of like a cartoon, but it wasn't. Remember Roger Rabbit?
Yeah, yep.
Just Rabbit?
Yep.
It was back to there. Now, really, do you think that cartoon was meant for kids with all the sexual innuendos going on in that cartoon? I went to go see it at a young age. But all this sex sells, like Will said, and it all comes down to a cause and effect. When sex sells, little girls and little boys see stuff like that, and like they think this is what a woman or even a male should look like. Then you get these kids with issues with their bodies and think they might have issues with their bodies, but they could be completely fine. But they think they need to be a certain type, weight, size, height, color, and then you get other people who get in that same stereotypical mind. Well, I don't like her because she's too tall or too short or too big. When you get kids into body shaming, you got kids committing suicide because they're not the right height, weight, color, size, and it's just a what's the word? Overblown thing that there's a cause and effect for everything.
Yeah, I definitely understand what you're saying. I definitely understand it because I guess that's the episode I referenced when we did the body shaming episode.
Yeah.
We did a show on body shaming, and that's basically, you feel me? Because nowadays everything's so accessible. You feel me? Like I remember, I don't even gotta go back that long ago to where the King magazine or Smooth magazine was the thing. You feel me? Going to one of these corners,
right?
Trying to, look at her. You know what I mean? And then she, the female show. Now you don't even have to do that. You feel me? You can just log on to IG. You can log on to entities. You know what I mean? Tumblr is ridiculous.
Oh, that's why I had to uninstall Tumblr.
Yeah, Tumblr is like, you know what I mean? And then IG has an underbelly to it, too, to where it's just nothing but sex as well. You feel me? You go, and then when you're looking at the comments, you feel me? You can go into, like, sports pages and stuff like that. And this is how I know, like, sex is it's so crazy. You read the comments, and then the next thing you know, you feel me? You want to see me masturbate? Go to my page, click the link. You're like, what? I'm in a basketball. You know what I mean? I'm in a Hoop is Life page. Where is this coming from? You feel me? It's like it's everywhere.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's beyond crazy to me.
Like it's sad because like when you raising daughters, it boys too. I don't want to exclude boys, but when you're raising daughters and you like my daughter's a teenager and I have a niece they're a year apart. But you when you see all of this stuff, like I said, you got to be careful of the images that are placed in high regard over other ones because you see that it's certain body types and skin complexions that are more of attention grabbers, and it gives the different girls that are different than that a complex. Because you see that this is what it is. This is what they think. This is what they could deem as beautiful. And this is all you see everywhere. That this is beautiful. This is beautiful. This is what's beautiful. Not this. And that you're gonna think to yourself, maybe I'm not beautiful then because they don't have what like people that look like me. And it's crazy because you're as a parent you're in a constant battle. If you like, you got to understand these teenagers growing up seeing all this, like looking at a Nicki Minaj or a Cardi B, looking at these women that are not, that don't have their real shape, or not embracing their real self for whatever reason. And they say this is what the image is out there that's considered was likable. You got to kind of challenge, you got to kind of wrestle with your kids and say, no, be comfortable with as you are. Because this is not like I don't want you to be trying to do that if people only see you as that. Because then you get lost in the thing where you get people that don't think you're knowledgeable because you look a certain way. You could be really smart. Not saying you can't be smart and your body is amazing. It could be that way. But I don't want you to think that this is the way you have to be because you could be anyway and you're beautiful. So it's like a constant struggle if you have. And like you said, these teenage years, these are when these girls and boys go through their different changes that they have to understand what their body is going through, and they're unsure. And then you got this image of what they're supposed to look like.
Yeah, I mean it's that's been my biggest issue with the whole situation is that it's definitely creating a misconception, right, for the children. I mean, because either like in Clint's example, you know, you have kids watching TV shows or listening to things or hearing things in the background that they shouldn't be hearing, shouldn't be seeing. You know, let kids be kids, right? Or even us as people who don't want to see that kind of stuff when we're watching, you know, when we're watching certain things, you know, like Clint said, he didn't even want to see it, and he's an adult, you know. The thing is that sometimes we have an expectation of what we're consuming. And, you know, I know me, some things don't bother me. Some things, you know, I let it slide. But there is times when I'm watching something, and, like, in particular, there's, what's the name of that show? How to Get Away with Murder. Love the show. Love the dynamics. I love the way the plot twist is set up. But the gratuitous sex scenes, the straight ones and the gay ones, it's always out of place. It's always, you know, like it doesn't progress the story, not in my eyes. You know what I mean? There's another show out there. I can't even think of the name of it. It's either Grey's Anatomy or one of the Scandal. Well, no, I think Scandal. That one probably fits. But I don't watch the show. But the way that I've heard it played out, that probably.
I don't watch
it
either.
But like I think it's Grey's Anatomy or one of the other hospital shows has a lot of sex scenes in it, and it's like, why? You know what I mean? My thing is always why. When does this progress or aid the story? When does it help what you're trying to push? Why is it even in here? What's the purpose? You know what I mean? I mean, if you can't get your story across without throwing in a gratuitous sex scene, something's wrong with your story. You know what I mean? There's nothing wrong with me. It's not my fault that I don't want to, you know, partake in this in this extraness. Give me a better story then if you can't figure out how to make a better story without throwing in gratuitous sex scenes. You know,
it's a lot of shows that just don't have that, but they're great shows.
Right, exactly. I mean, I watch different broadcast, or not broadcast, what do they call it? Yeah, different broadcast companies shows all the time. Like one in particular is like the British shows. A lot of times, I mean, there's a lot of talking. It's just not for everybody, but you know, my thing is they have amazing shows, and you don't get all that with a lot of the shows. I mean, some of them they have their fair share, but you know, I wouldn't say fair share compared to our stuff.
It doesn't have all that.
Yeah. Yes, Criminal Minds is a great example of a show that has awesome stories, great actors. You know, the characters gel well, and you don't see all that extraness. You know, so that's my thing.
You can even think of a show like Law and Order SVU.
Oh, that's my shit.
They had a you know, the show is about sexual victims, but you rarely see any sex scenes. You know what I mean? So it's like Willie is 100% right. Like, you don't need the sex scenes to move your story or have a great story. You know, so like, oh man, it sometimes, like, if I want to watch a porno, I'll just go watch a porno.
Exactly.
You feel me? I do that on my own time. You feel me? If I'm watching a comedy, I want to laugh or something, you know, hit me with the jokes. Don't try to just throw that in there because you're not creative enough, you know. But I wanted to touch on something, the women's sexual liberation.
Mm-hmm.
You feel me? I feel like this little movement they got going on, I feel like it's kind of, I don't want to say hypocritical or like counterintuitive to me, because it's like, how does that help? You know, all these women, you know, coming out like, you know, the slut walk.
No, that's,
you feel me?
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's part of it. Slut walk, you know, like I was, the guy, Shaka, he be on Shaka Bars. He's real prominent on Instagram. You know, he posted a picture today. You know, it's the lady, and I've seen this picture before. You know, black lady, she naked, but she got a sign in front of her. Just because I'm naked don't mean I'm asking for it.
But yeah, I remember we talked about that before on the past show. I remember.
Yeah, and I'm looking at that, and I'm like, well, what's the point? Like, let's not be ignorant. You know, everybody. There are predators. There are sexual predators out here. You feel me? So that's why when you tell a woman like you should cover up or don't, because you're gonna bring the wrong attention, but then she replies, well, you know, I shouldn't. I should be able to wear what I want. But like, okay, but the fact of the matter is, you're going to bring the wrong attention. You're sending a wrong message. I don't care what you think you're trying to do or not. You feel me? You're sending a wrong message. You're sending, you know what I mean? Dudes' antennas are going to go up. And like you said, you want your daughter to think, you want a man to be attracted to her mind instead of her body. But if you're leading with your body, I don't care how smart you are. You feel me? I don't care how much knowledge you think you have. Like, if you're leading with your body, that's the first thing most men are going to see.
But see, here's my argument to that, and as a female, and like I said, it's like if you kind of like, okay, so I went to a party a while back. It was a nice little upscale party. It was all black. You know, you get there, you look real cute, you get a little black outfit. You're just cute. You go out there and have a good time, dancing out of the way, whatever. Okay, so I went to this event. Now, my type of dressing is I don't want everything out, but I dress because I dress to the core of the fact that I'm a mom now. I can't just be wearing the most littlest thing like I ain't got kids. So, because I don't want to be perceived a certain way. I get it, right? But I can see somebody else walking to that party with a whole outfit on that you completely see through, and that's what they chose to wear that night. Do I think it's appropriate? No. And I think that you shouldn't wear certain things, but at the end of the day, as a female, I understand just because I won't wear that doesn't mean that she can't wear it. Maybe her body might not go with it, but that's what she chose to wear, whatever. But in the understanding of what you're wearing is attracting attention, most women wear things to attract attention, right? But it does not justify. Like, we get it. Men are visual creatures. They look at us, and if we dress a certain way, not necessarily all the time, because you can be dressed with the sweatpants and they might fit you a certain way. Somebody might get excited by it. Okay, but if you're dressed in a different type of way where you're like not really dressed but dressed, if you get what I'm saying, and then men approach you in a negative way, you have to understand that you have to understand as a female the way you're dressed is attracting these type of people, attracting all different wanted attention and unwanted attention. So you have to be mindful of both. So you have to understand that when you dress a certain way, you have to understand that you might not, all attention might not be positive, but it doesn't justify the actions of a man approaching you in a negative manner. You see what I'm saying? But
yeah,
I
it definitely, it'll never justify it, but that's not my point.
Yeah,
my point is human nature.
Yeah.
My point is human nature. Human nature has not changed since we, like, listen, no matter how me, Willie, Damon, we agree with you. Like, I'm not disagreeing with you.
Mm-hmm.
But the point is, there are going to be men who are predators. You can't stop that. You feel me? Like, you can't stop it. You feel me? Like, and some of us may have friends that are predators and we don't even know it.
Yeah.
You feel me? But like, that's why they. Go ahead, bro.
Yeah, I mean, I was say I ride the fence on this situation, right? Because, you know, I understand from a woman's point of view that they don't want to have to be responsible for what somebody else is thinking, and I kind of agree with them on that, because my thing is I shouldn't have to control your thoughts with my actions, and I shouldn't have to defend myself because you can't control yourself. Mm-hmm. That's what it boils down to for women. For women, it's like, why do I have to dress a certain way because men can't control themselves? Or why do I have to change my actions because your thought process is screwed up when I do a certain thing? So, you know, my thing is if you flip it and you look at it from a point of view of, like, black people and wearing hoodies, black people and wearing saggy pants, black people and listening to certain types of music. Why do I have to change my music so white people can feel comfortable with me? Why do I have to change my clothes so that mainstream or corporate America can feel comfortable for me? We have our same woes with this situation of me having to control your mindset with my actions. So that's where I have a problem with that statement coming from men saying, don't dress like this if you don't want unwanted attention. No, dude, change your mindset. Get your mind either out of the gutter or turn your head, because you obviously are the one with the problem, not the woman. You can't tell her. Now, if she's just being super blatantly, you know, inappropriate for the situation, then that's one thing. You walk into a place of business, you know, or whatever, and the person's supposed to be at work and, you know, have their coochie showing, then yeah, that may be inappropriate, but in the sense of you're not appropriately dressed for work. You know what I mean? You know, she still shouldn't get raped because her part of her body is showing. You know what I mean? That's still unacceptable. That's still a problem. So the thing is that, yes, I agree that if you don't want unwanted attention, you should pretty much conform to the situation that you're in, right? But the thing is, you shouldn't be forced to dress, look, or do certain things just so that somebody else won't attack you or won't treat you improperly or won't violate your rights as a human being or you know, as a certain individual or group. So that's my thing about the situation. You know, we have to keep in mind that people want to do certain things, and it's not our business they're doing when they're grown and they can make those decisions on their own. If she wants to show up with a naked shirt on and whatever else she's wearing to a party that's basically a party, more power to her. If that's how she wants to show her body off, I'm not about to sit here and argue with the woman. That's her decision. She got to make that decision. Yeah, she's going to get looks and stares and all that kind of stuff. She I'm sure knows that. But the thing is, she shouldn't have to feel like she's going to get attacked or beat up or raped or whatever else, other case that may be that people will say, don't wear that because you're going to get raped or don't get that. No, that's that person's problem that they need to control. That's my thing.
Yeah. I just feel like this, like, and that's why I said earlier. You have to, as a female, you should understand that when you dress, however it is you choose to dress, just like as black folks, we have to know that when we're around white folks, if we happen to have a, you know, they might be like, oh, this, or just being black, walking down the street next to a white folks, they might be like, let me just, like, you know, they think that you're gonna do something. So it's stuff like stuff is completely out of your control in certain instances, but like, as a female or as my rule of thumb, for me personally, I'm mindful if I'm wearing something, I wear it at appropriate place. If I'm wearing a swimsuit, I'm at the beach somewhere. And like I said, for me, I don't dress certain ways, not because I'm worried about how other people are going to perceive me. It's just that I feel like I'm a mom. I shouldn't be having my ass cheeks hanging out when I'm going out. I don't care if my kids not around, I shouldn't be doing that. Or dress appropriately for the occasion. If you're out with your friends, you might dress a little bit more. You might have a little more cleavage out than what you would do with your kids. Just be mindful of those things, but then also be mindful of your surroundings. You never know. People just do shit because they fucking crazy and they want to do it. But you should also teach your kids. Like I know that's one thing I have a pet peeve about. I knew this girl from when we were cheering. She used to dress a certain way, and now I see her daughter. Her daughter dresses the same way she does. But her daughter is she's a preteen. She's not an adult. So, because I guess she mimicking what her mom do, but then her mom buys her clothes. So I wouldn't want her wearing something that I think is inappropriate for someone her age. I know that she's getting older, so she wants to wear a little bit different, more clothes than probably close to what I would wear. But at the same time, I'm also watching what she's wearing because I understand that people, like, especially for me, my daughter looks older than what she is. So I don't want her dressing like what she looks like versus her age, you see? So I'm mindful about what she wears, and she's conscious about what she wears too, because I don't want people to approach her in a certain manner because, first of all, she's still a child. So she might not be able to handle herself as if I'm and I can just address it, somebody addresses me in a negative fashion. So that's another thing about these kids and clothes. And you have to, especially with girls, I don't want my daughter dressing like she's a grown-ass person going out to the club. You're a child, dress like a child. So, and there's a lot of moms that think it's cute because their daughter can wear their clothes or that their daughter is wearing what they're wearing. No, that's still a child. I need you to understand that. Like, your daughter can't go out. Like, I went to a awards banquet and this little girl, I couldn't believe, first of all, she walked around with a baby. I thought she was an adult. She looked like she was an adult. And when I saw her walk up on the stage and accept the softball award, I'm like, wait a minute, what? Why is she dressed like that? Like, where's her parents? Who let her go outside like that? I thought she was an adult, but she wasn't.
Yeah, because it's celebrated now like that. I want to hear Damon. Damon, what you got to say, brother?
I'm looking at all these stories, and it's like a double standard because I used to be a manager at a retail store next to a strip club. And quite often, some of these people walk from their job to my store and buy some, diapers for the kids or whatever, half dressed, half their boob out, the other half not because they're not dressed properly. You can see everything. Nothing's left to the imagination, but they don't like the attention. But the place you work at, you want that attention. So when you go out in public like that, you don't want it all of a sudden. You're sending the wrong message and the confusing message to those who are pervs. They don't know what to hit on you, if you or not.
And that was my point of saying, like, it's kind of hypocritical and counterintuitive at some point. You feel me? Like we mentioned the slut walk. Like, that's part of it. Like, oh, I should be able to be a hoe. But, like, it's a certain level of respect that comes with that. You feel me? Like a girl got mad at me because I said, you know what I mean, a slut is going to be treated like a slut. Like, if you carry yourself that way, you know what I mean, no, she should be treated with the same. But, like, no, that's not reality. I don't care, you know, what people think it should be. I'll tell you what reality is. If you act a certain way, like, that's how you're going to be treated. You feel me? If everything is just, you know what I mean, you want to go around, like, lowering your value. You feel me? That's just how you're going to be viewed. And like Damon said, yes, it's a double-edged sword or a double standard, but you know that's it is. You know, in life there are double standards. You feel me? A woman can come out showing cleavage. There's nothing wrong with it. You know what I mean? But a dude sagging his pants, you like, pull your pants up. You know what I mean? It's okay for a woman, she got a thong showing. Oh, you know what I mean? That's dude was sagging his pants. Pull your pants up, man. It's a double standard. Pull your damn pants up. But when we see that female, like, well, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, and that's the thing.
Y'all actually want to look at that.
Well, you know, this is the thing. This is the thing I've said in the past. Is that there's certain things in this world and in this life that we're going to have to just deal with. And one of those things is some of the double standards that preclude and exclude and allow or disallow, right? You know, we're trying to change the mindset on certain things, and we're trying to get, you know, certain thought processes changed, modified, or removed, right? So I think, you know, things that make a difference and can help should be done. So in terms of the, you know, not victim blaming and not you know, trying to force people to do a certain thing or look a certain way to please somebody else to a point of, you know, saying that they have to, not to please them, rather, to conform to some standard to try to keep from getting either treated improperly, attacked, or anything like that. You know, those kind of things need to continue to be pushed so we can get that out of our mindsets. But, you know, things that will help you to, you know, conform to you know, just like standards, decency standards, things of that nature. You know, like when you said about the pull your pants up thing, you know, it's like that's something that we're you know, we're never going to change because, you know, most common people want that to happen. We don't want you walking around with the pants hanging off. We don't want, you know, people walking up into jobs and doing corporate America wearing saggy pants, you know, baggy everything and all that other kind of stuff. You know, we want them to look a certain way. We want them to conform to a certain standard. It's going to be there. You know, I don't think it's ever going to go away, you know, unless everything changes and we start looking like we, you know, work on the Starfleet spacecraft or something. You know, that's never going to change. You see what I'm saying? So I think, you know, when it all boils down to it, we have to keep people, right, especially nowadays, in 2017, 2018, 2019, and 20, and going forward, I'm sure we're going to have to keep people's feelings in mind. We're going to have to keep people's civil liberties in mind because it comes down to that, you know what I mean? And also people's rights, you know, their you know, their human rights. So, you know, a lot of the complaints and all that, it's going to have to fall by the wayside because we're in that world now. We're in the world where, you know, women shouldn't feel like they're pieces of meat, and they shouldn't have to feel like they have to, you know, bow down and crawl under a rock because a man said so, and that's a good thing. But we're also in a world where you still need to go into a job interview with a suit on. You still need to take your hat off when you walk into a building. You see what I'm saying? So there's still these things that are out there. We're going to have to keep conforming to them until something different happens, or something changes in the future.
Okay, but I want to get to the one of the questions that we had in our kind of summary of what the show is going to be about. because there's some how I answer this question. Huh?
Say the number first.
Oh, the phone number, if you guys want to call in, is 657-383-1155. Okay. But I don't know how this question eluded me, but I'm just reading it and I'm like, oh wow, I didn't even see this question. But it says, why have we become less discreet when it comes to our sex lives?
Because I think it's everywhere. Oh, go ahead, Damon.
Social media, one, it's like you said, Clint, it's everywhere. It's in your face. It's in the newspapers we read, the magazines, like we said at the top of the show, sex sells. Everybody likes sex. They want to see it, breathe it. They want it in their lives. You got it on their phones, tablets, computers. You got sex everywhere. You can't even see the pop-up, normal pop-up anymore. You got all these sex pop-ups. Like, hey, would you like to meet me somewhere? Like, no, I'm just trying to do my taxes. What's going on?
You sure you're trying to do your taxes? I don't believe you.
You gotta stop doing your taxes on Pornhub, bro. You gotta.
Yeah. That's how it do. Like that's what it do now, though. But when you look at it certain, like if you go on Google right now and you search something on your home computer, next thing you know on Facebook you got like you go look at some toys on Google, some sex toys. When you go on your Facebook, it's gonna be down there like, oh well, you read the news feed, next thing you know it's gonna be a little ad for toys. I'm like, wait a minute. Like that's what happened.
Yeah.
It's
definitely.
They're following their search engine.
Yeah.
I think one of the reasons too is.
Okay.
Oh, go ahead, brother.
And it can mean something totally different in a Google search where I automatically go to sex for some reason. Why is that? I never figured that out. Like I'm trying to type in something innocent for looking up, something for my daughter maybe. I remember going back a couple of years and I tried to type in something that said local singles near you. Like what? No. That's not what I want.
That's because everybody in your neighborhood is searching for local singles.
or the married ones looking for a local single.
Oh man, terrible. But yeah, I mean, we can discuss search algorithms later. But yeah, that's basically all that.
When you get the discretion, like I remember on the previous show, like I said, I was at my little brother's a couple years ago when he was in the 8th grade. At his basketball game. My mom's there, my grandma's there, my sister's there. The little girl, she's sitting next to me, sitting next to us. She with a little group of friends. And now listen, I know for a fact during my generation, the girls was fresh too. You feel me? They were 13, 12. Like I said, the girls were sleeping around more than the boys when I was around my age. I know that for a fact. But like I said, discretion. Everybody wasn't just out in the open. You ain't want adults to know. It was discretion. Mm-hmm. This little girl, she just right there, like, yeah, he was kissing all on my body, all up and down. And what I mean? Like, just telling her real loud. Everybody could hear her. The other girls are sitting there chiming in. Like it wasn't nothing. Yeah, and I literally had to stare this girl in her face. And then like one of her friends tapped her while she was talking, and she looked at me, and I'm staring her in her face. Like, sweetheart, do you understand how you sound right now? None of these boys in here show you any type of respect now. Now they're wrong. You understand? Yeah. So now it's the pressure on these young boys to show her how to act like a lady when she's not carrying herself that way. So where's she getting that example from? Obviously her parent or her parents around her are not her aunts, cousins. None of them are discreet. So it's just like they talk about sex. She's probably had sex. Her parents probably had sex in front of her, and all of that. It was like I felt ashamed for her, but she had no shame. She actually kind of like rolled her eyes at me. You know what I mean? I'm like, wow.
That's why you got to be mindful of, that's one thing I had with a friend of mine. The conversation that their child was having was just not appropriate for the age. So when your kids start having these conversations, be it any type of conversation where it's just not right, you have to kind of wonder where they're getting it from. Because the kids don't just come up with these random things that they say. They're getting it from somewhere. So you just have to be, as a parent, to do your due diligence to know who your kids are around. Because then you got to, like I say, then you have them having conversations that aren't appropriate for them to be having, or things like that. Because when she brought it to my attention, I'm like, well, why is he saying shit like that? Like, well, like, where is he getting it from? Oh, I don't know. I would want to investigate, because if my child walked through my door and start having conversations that she ain't never had, I want to know who the fuck you been around. And then you got to worry about. Then you got to also think, are they getting it from you? Like, what are you doing? You know. But I'm to be having these types of conversations. But I see that now a lot of these parents don't want to address it, and they just don't address it when it happens. Like when your kids are talking, like you hear conversations all the time. Like I know my niece and my daughter have the conversation with each other, and I'm always listening in to see what they're saying. Like I don't let them know that I'm listening. I just sit there, my TV on mute, and just listen to their conversation because I want to know where it's going. Mm-hmm. And if I feel like I need to address it, I'm going to address it because I'm not naive. They're teenagers. Like I was a teenager once, and I had different conversations or different, and I know that they want to date. They think boys are cute, so you want to be like the little antennas up and see what they're talking about because you want to make sure that they're having appropriate conversations for their age. And when they start having these inappropriate conversations, you need to insert yourself and have a real conversation with them and educate them.
Right.
Well, a lot of parents don't do that.
Right. Yeah, and I think that's the thing is that is having that insight or keeping your feelers out and paying attention to your kids because, like, hearing both of you and I guess all three of you, you'll talk about how it's the question comes up is who's teaching these kids these things and where are they getting this information from and this kind of thing and that kind of thing. Thing is that they get it from everywhere. They get it from either parents or parent-like people, or they get it from TV, or they get it from music, or they get it from their friends, or they get it from their friends' friends. They're getting it from everywhere. Their environment is what shapes them. It's not just us as parents. Like I remember telling somebody a long time ago that the most control you have over your kid is in those first 3 to 4 years of their life. That's literally it. Once they get to 4 or 5 years old and they go to school, you're done. Because now they have a bigger environment that they can attach to and that they can start learning from. You've given them some bases, and you can continue to teach them throughout the rest of their childhood. But the thing is that your control over everything that they see, hear, and do is now beginning to be reduced, and it's beginning to be compromised by this environment that they're going to be exposed to either at school, when they start watching TV on their own, because, after your kid stops watching Barney or Sesame Street or whatever you let them watch, as a kid, they're going to start watching certain shows on their own. And you're not going to monitor each and every little show that they watch. I mean, unfortunately, we put our trust into certain programming or TV channels and things of that nature, not even realizing that nowadays even that's flawed because of the fact that they're getting exposed to things that we may not approve of. But the thing is that we really need to have conversations with them about. But the thing is that we have to keep in mind that we have to be in constant communication with our kids and realize that even then you're going to either miss things or they're not going to bring certain things to you. I mean, I have 6 kids and my time was limited as I was dealing with more than 1 or 2 kids at a time. But also, as you talk to your children, they get older. There's certain things they're just going to hide from you. Either they're going to not feel comfortable talking to you about it, or they're going to feel like it's something they don't need to talk to you about. I talk to my kids about sex all the time. I talk to my kids about drugs. I talk to my kids about appropriate language. Talk to them about religion. Talk to them about tons of stuff, right? The thing is that there's still certain situations they're not going to bring to me, and there's still certain conversations they're not going to have with me, or they're not going to have with their mother, or not going to have with their aunt or uncle, or whatever. They're going to have these situations that they're going to discuss with their friends, And like Sonny said, luckily she was there and she could listen in to see where it was going, you know. But like I had a conversation with my one of my daughter's friends' mothers to find out some of the things that she was talking to her friend about. And I'm not going to put her on blast on the show, but the things that I was hearing, I was not shocked or surprised, but I was just like, wow, okay, now I know how I need to equip myself or how I need to approach her in the future, because the thing is that there are certain things that got past me or I didn't realize. I mean, when my youngest daughter started liking boys, I didn't pick up on it immediately. It took me probably I guess about 6 months to figure it out. So, and it takes some people even longer than that. You know what I mean? Some people don't realize it until their kid is like in. I guess I'll tell the truth. My middle daughter, I didn't realize that she was liking boys until she hit middle school. I had totally missed the bus on it. You know what I mean? I totally missed it. So there's certain clues, of course, but then the conversations you have and the things that they're going to bring you. My middle daughter wasn't comfortable talking to me at that time. Me and my middle daughter really didn't even have that kind of relationship at that time where she felt like she could bring that to me. So, as she got older, when I think she was like 15, then she started bringing me that stuff. But before that, it was a battle to get that out of her. You know what I mean? So my youngest daughter, she's a little bit better, but still, even then, like I said, 6 months went by, and I find out 6 months after the fact that, such and such, she said she likes some boy, and I'm like, really? Like, I didn't even know. So it's one of those things. You got to be in the communication, but you also have to be watching. You got to be monitoring. You have to do all you can, because the thing is, they're going to get all this information, all this inappropriate content and everything else, the best way they can and the best way they know how. And I mean, we all have done it. We've all been there. We've all been kids before. I mean, and this is what my mother taught me. Think about yourself as a child, multiply it times 5. That's your child. So anything you've done, assume that they're doing it either better, faster, or more sneaky than you've ever done in your life. Because the thing is that this world and this environment that they're around has escalated at that point, and it's caused them to escalate. Exactly. I mean, I don't know about Clint, but I know maybe David either. But Sonny, you probably know our kids are learning things faster than we were at that age.
Yeah.
Look at the homework. You know what I mean? Yeah. My son is in 6th grade. For one, he's in 6th grade with 7th grade math, right? So I look at his math book, and I'm looking at the stuff that he's doing. I'm like, I remember learning this in, like, 10th grade. You know what I mean? And my grandson, he's doing linear algebra in 2nd grade. So it's like the things that they're being exposed to as children in this age, in this day and age, it's far, more advanced than we were at that age and at that time. So
hold on, guys. We got a call. I just want to get them in. Caller, you on the line with GFT Radio.
Hello, is that me?
Yes.
Hey, this is Rod. I'm actually I requested by Damon.
Okay.
I know Damon from a couple years. How y'all doing tonight?
All right, appreciate you calling in, brother.
Yeah, I was listening to it online first, and then it's a funny story happened. Like 2 weeks ago, I started a new job. I live in Macon, Georgia right now. I work now at Macon-Bibb County Parks and Recreations. So everything I'm saying is kind of interesting because I see like one way and then I see another. Like, for example, like the education at this area is like, I look at some of the problems that they're doing as like, why y'all still on this? Like when I'm originally from New Jersey, starting off, so like the education is like more advanced than it is where I'm at. So when I look at their homework and what they're doing, I'm like, what are these teachers teaching them? So it kind of bothers me and see how they act sometimes. So it just throws me off a little bit. But one of the things that happened today, and I just found out about an hour ago, the community center I work at is linked to a school, and the kid brought a gun to the school today.
Oh, wow.
I didn't get the details. I didn't even get the details of it. Like, the school was literally like 2 blocks away. But the kids there come to my community center after school. But I was in a CPR first aid class, and he brought it in around the same time I was in my rec center to do my CPR first aid to get recertified. And I was like, I'm waiting to find out. Because I know when I go back tomorrow, they're going to have a meeting about this. And it seems like with the new group of kids I'm finally getting used to, after being back in youth development after like 4 years, almost 5, it's changed. Like, I used to feel like I was like the best at youth development because I was in it for so long, but once you leave and go back, it's like you're playing catch up. But these kids now, I guess the best way to say it, they're tryhards. Like, they're not tough, they're not gangster, but they want to be. And the question is why? I just don't see why they would want to be that when they have no clue about what it's like to be one just because you've seen it or watched it or heard about it.
But that's what it is.
Yeah.
They see it. It's the visual, because that relates perfectly to what we were talking about as far as being bombarded with sexual images. That relates perfectly. They're bombarded with all that stuff on TV and the music, like Willie said earlier, and they think it's cool, but they don't know the consequences that come behind it. They don't know the reality with it. That's why I'll be telling my daughter, whatever you're watching on television is fake. It's make-believe. It's a television. It's a lie. So, there's consequences. It's cool to watch a video and, they in there, or a movie, excuse me, and it's a shootout, guns playing, so much action. It's cool. That you see a sex scene, like, oh, wow. Sex. But they don't tell you the consequences of that. You feel me? They don't tell you in real life somebody gets shot, die. It's a lot of pain that come with that. A lot of other people are affected, not just the one that is killed. The family members. And just like just like with sex, it's cool to watch it on TV, but, with sex, a lot of come with that. Kids, now you got responsibility, your diseases, you feel me? But even if you just take the disease out, I know a lot of people with teenage kids who just really wasn't, teenage parents that really just wasn't ready. But they didn't know no better. They was just thinking in the moment because they're bombarded. They thought it was cool. You feel me? If you was 14, 15, around my way and still a virgin, you was looked at like you a clown. Yep. Because that was the perception. Yeah. That was what we was taught. You know what I mean? And that's what we see on TV. So, the kids, the same thing. When it comes to sex, when it comes to violence, that's what they see. That's cool. So if they're not perpetuating what they're seeing, you feel me? They're looking at it like they lame. And so, to me, that falls on the parenting. Go ahead.
Yeah, and can I get in real quick? It kind of mentioned that we mentioned the parenting, but in this current generation, and I don't know everybody's age, but I'm 34. But this generation before me,
we all around the same age.
It's still kids. I was guessing that. But that generation before us, still kids themselves. Like my cousins, they're all in their 20s, but they already were having kids in their teenage life, and they're still immature, and they're still having more kids. So they're not teaching how to be adult. They didn't even teach them how to be adults. So the kids are acting up. Like some of these kids, like some of my relatives alone, I'm like, you just had another kid, and you still not right with the first one. How you gonna come around and have another kid?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Babies raising babies.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
It's the thing about the guy, like what Clint said earlier. Guys, boys at a certain age, their hormones are going crazy. They don't know what to do. They don't know what direction to go to. They just know they need to do something with their hormones. They're looking at girls dressed certain ways. They hate to say it, but yeah, they're out to get what they need, but they don't understand emotions after sex, especially for first timers. Your emotions are just going haywire. You don't know what just happened. It felt good, but stuff after that, your emotions, your thinking after you had sex, totally changed. It changes everything about you, the way you act, think, and I don't think kids really know what's going to happen. That's why my mom taught me at an early age is like cause and effect. Everything has an effect from what you just did. You have to think about the process. You get married, bam, you're bound to have kids. You murder somebody, hey, you might get away with it. You might go to jail. You might end up being killed by somebody who know you did it, and they want to see you dead. So you have to try to instill in your kids that there's a cause and effect for everything. Yes, it's nice to have friends who understand and know what you're going through, but I want to rely on them to, try to instill in them as well that their knowledge isn't much better than yours. Go to somebody who knows what's been through there first. I have to prepare myself in the next couple of years to have this talk with two girls of my own. I'm not sure how I'm going to do this. I might call Willie over to talk because he's been through it.
That's real.
So I'm just saying, I might call, hey, Clint, after the radio show, I need you to or call, hey, Sonny, you mind if I take a train or something, come to see y'all, or just send down to Macon to live with Rod.
You want me to give Shepard advice? You sure you want me to give her advice? Because I'm going to tell her to try out.
See.
But yeah, no, I feel you. I mean, I think the biggest thing is like you just said, Damon, is having the conversations, right, and giving them the guidance. I mean, not all kids are going to take the guidance. Not all, especially when they get to be teenagers and they think they know everything, and they always have their own outlook or viewpoint on things. But you gotta try. You can't just send them out there without some type of guidance, without some kind of expectations, and giving them some moral compass to sit behind them. Because the thing is that when it all boils down to it, they're going to eventually figure out they have to fall back on that moral compass and on those lessons that you try to push to them. I mean, I know I did it. My dad, me and him, we used to have epic battles going back and forth when I was a teenager, but best believe when I was 25, 26, and I had to sit back and think, like, what do I do next? I thought about the stuff he told me. I thought about the things he tried to instill in me and tried to push to me when I was battling him back about certain things. But the thing was, I had to realize that, hey, I needed that information to get me through my 20s and 30s and so on and so forth. The thing was is that without him still trying, if he wouldn't have, I'd have been lost. You see what I'm saying? And there's and even at that age, I thought I had it figured out. You know what I mean? So I know how these kids think that they don't figured it out, especially when they get 16, 17. Don't let them graduate high school. They really think they got it all figured out. So you have to instill in them as much as you can what's right, what's wrong, what's left, what's right. You know what I mean? You got to get it into them because
what's funny?
That's the only. Mm-hmm.
I'm about to say, what's funny? The other day, was it yesterday, my daughter came to me and she said, Mom, she had been talking on Snapchat and talking on the phone with this boy. I was like, who is this boy? Who's she talking to? Because my daughter don't really talk to people that much on the phone. Not that I ever heard her, on the phone laughing, cracking up, having a good time. I'm like, who the hell is that? So she was like, this is my male best friend, blah, 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 blah. So me, me being the mom that I am, I'm like, best friend, whatever. So to the next, it wasn't yesterday, it was like earlier in the week. So then yesterday I came home. Of course, the downstairs is spick and span. She offering to cook dinner and everything. So I'm like, what's going on? She's like, Mom, my male best friend want to meet you. So I'm like, when he want to meet me? She says, he around at this boy we know house. And she like, you know the other boy mom. So I was like, well, bring him around. So I'm cooking dinner. They show up, and I meet them. With the one little boy, I actually do know who his mom is. She's like a cousin of a cousin. So I'm like, yeah, I know who your mother is, and I I'll find out about you. And, you know, like that, whatever. So they came over, and, like, I had told her when I talked to her, my niece, and I was telling them previously, I know y'all at the age y'all like boys, so I would much rather y'all introduce me to these people than just have people showing up at my house or, you know, I don't know who the hell you talk to type of situation. So they came through the door. I kind of grilled them a little bit, asking questions, like, you like my daughter? They're like, nah, we just friends. I'm like, you sure? I'm like, you already like him? Just embarrassing them a little bit, but, like, not really doing, like, harm to it. But I kind of wanted to adjust the situation, so I let them hang out for a little bit while I was downstairs. I gave them I gave them some privacy for about 30 minutes, and then they had to go. Like they played Call of Duty. They did that for half an hour, then they had to go. And then today I get home and I get a phone call before I get home, like, hey, there's some boys in your house. Now I'm like, what? So my daughter immediately calls me from her phone, like, Mom, my best friend and the boy that came over yesterday. You know, I forget his name. She like, yeah, they came by. They walked me and my friend home, and they wanted to. I said, well, first of all, I'm not home. My sister was here, and my son ADA was here. So I kind of, when I got home from work, like after my daughter called me, I said, I'll see you when I get home, but they can't come in the house because I'm not there. And then when I came home, I had a conversation with her. I said, listen, I'm okay with y'all wanting to have company and stuff like that, whatever, but nobody can come through the door there if I'm not home. And this is like you have to explain it to the kids. And I said, I know. She said, Mom, we just friends. I said, I don't care. Because just friends turn into different things too. But at the end of the day, I need you to understand that I'm okay with you spending time with people of the opposite sex. I'm okay with that. Because I know, like my mom was unrealistic. My mom told us we couldn't date till we was grown. We were dating. I'd rather you tell me to my face, you know? So I said to her, like, I'm not mad at you, but I want you to understand that nobody can cross this threshold without me being in this house. Or you asking me and me allowing it. Like if it's a female, I would allow it, but it's a boy, I need to be in the house too. And like I said, I didn't want to cross the line where I made her not want to come to me or listen to me. So you got to kind of talk to them. And like it's uncomfortable for me. Like that's my baby. I don't want her dating, but it's unrealistic for me to tell her not to. Not that she's dating this guy, but it's the first boy you brought to my house. But I also we need to have a dialogue, an open dialogue. And if we can't have that, you can't have nobody come over here.
I want to go back to something Damon had mentioned earlier that was real profound and something that you told me that you might want to explain to your daughter as well.
Mm-hmm.
You see, our hormones, young boys' hormones, see, we reach our sexual peak, men reach our sexual peak way sooner than females. I think it's like 18, 19, something like that. Then dudes done as far as their sexual peak. Don't mean they don't want to still have sex, but you know, with them hormones raging like that, women are older, like in their 30s, mid 30s. That's when they really get their sexual peak. At least that's what I've read, studies I've read.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So like when my sisters, you know, and I'm gonna explain all, like they got to be careful with these boys. You feel me? All that friend stuff, you know what I mean? That sound cool, you feel me? But all they looking for is, most times, 9 times out of 10, they just looking for that opportunity.
Exactly, and that's why that's what I was saying to her. and like with, you know, like but with me, I don't believe some things are unrealistic. Like, okay, you may have boy friends that are boys, you know what I mean? Y'all may like each other in school and all that type stuff. But I know, like, you're not going to be nobody company. You feel me? There's going to be consequences and repercussions. You feel me? Like, I ain't with, you feel me? We ain't friends. Right, exactly. Right, like, we ain't friends. I'm not your friend. I'm your father. You feel me? And I will, I don't care if you don't like me. You know what I mean? When we get this, I'm trying to protect you. You'll thank me later. You feel me? Yeah. Not having no dudes over my house until you at least 16, 17. Mm-hmm. I know that for a fact. You feel me? Let me come home or go to your mom's house and your mom called me or something. Oh, she had a boy. Like, listen, it's going to be hell to pay. You feel me? You have to instill that in them. You feel me? Because I already know, like, I was that young man, like Willie said earlier. Like, you got to remember when you were young. Like, I remember vividly how I was when I was young. I was a whole different Clinton that y'all don't know.
You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? Hormones on 1,000. You know what I mean? Hormones on 1,000. So like, and I was sneaky. You feel me? Like I know how to keep my mouth shut. You feel me? People, girls, parents, they moms loved me. You understand? I got that from my pop. You know what I mean? My pop, you getting good with the mom, you could do anything.
Oh, yeah, I see.
You see? You get good with the mom, you can do anything.
Yep.
Play that little innocent role, you can get away with anything. So like I don't fall for that. You feel me? I was you, young man. Come here, cross your hands, talk all politely, and then tell her, yeah, that's cool. You just telling me you got game.
Right, exactly.
That's all you're showing me.
I had that conversation before.
Please, no daughters. Please, no daughters.
Yeah, but it's funny though because I kept the whole night, the whole time they were here. My niece was like, "You being real petty, Aunt Rita," and I was like, "Yeah, Zaria." I said something. I thought I could have said you and your boyfriend. She's like, "Nah, I ain't doing that." And I said, "Cause I already know. Like, come on." Like I'm like, and that's what I'm not a guy, but I'm not stupid at the same time. So like, and I said to her, she like, even when they left, I said, "Oh, you think about your boyfriend?" She said, "What?" And I like I said, I know like I'm not oblivious to, like, she may not like him or maybe she does. I'm not dead to that, or I'm not comprehending that. I just feel like as like I'm monitoring it and seeing what happens, but at the same time I also want to see how and if I can trust her, because I don't want to, like, it's not like at the same time I'm going to give you the rope, but I'm before you hang up, I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna keep giving you clues and have a conversation. That's why I keep having these conversations with her, because I'm like, and if I can't ask your conversation I can't ask your question without you catching the defense or being extra or, you know, having a meltdown like I just asked something crazy. No, I'm asking this for a genuine reason because I already know what it is. Like come on, you talking to, I hung around boys 95% of my life. So I done seen a lot. I done been through a lot. So like there's nothing new that won't surprise me. So I need you to understand, like, I'm asking this for a reason. I'm talking to you like this for a reason. And I'm not trying to be an asshole. I just want you to open your eyes because, you know, you're young, you're dumb, you don't really know. And you just assume. And sometimes it's not what it's perceived to be. And I want you to be on point with that, because at the end of the day, like, I could have came in here and flipped out. Like, I could have easily done that. I'm a hothead. I could do it. Not a problem. But I wasn't going to, like, I wanted her to hear what I was saying to her. And that's why I said it. Like, that's why I made her have the conversation. When I came through the door, I got my coat off, said hi to my son AJ, said something to my sister, and went right upstairs and went and had a conversation. Like, we're gonna have this conversation right now, because I want you to understand that that's not gonna fly at 13 home. It's not about to do it. We're not doing that. We ain't been doing it. We ain't about to start. None of that. So you got to set boundaries at the same time, and you got to continuously have conversation. You can't have one conversation and be done. You always got to have conversations. And sometimes, like what he said, you can't control everything, but you can control, like, what's not going to happen in my house.
Right, exactly.
That's why if I ever leave work early, I don't even tell them. Like, every time I left work early, I ain't say shit to her. I just popped up. Oh, well, why you get off early? Because I'm grown. Like, right, I'll pop up half day. Like, you got a half day, I might be home by the time you show up to see you walking through the door with
somebody. No, I got something better for my kids. I got cameras in my house at both houses, so I don't play that. Yeah. I don't play that. So
and maybe have those conversations at an early age, like get in front of the train, like.
Yeah, we've been having conversations, but like now that I know you date or trying to date or really trying to go out there and be looking at people and really trying to date, oh no, we definitely all the time. And I feel like having a further moment, let's sit down and have a conversation.
Right,
She's about to be 16. I can't lock her away. I wish I could, but it's not realistic.
Sure?
I might get diapers, huh?
You sure?
Right? Lock her away and throw away the kids.
You sure? Yeah, you can do that because I'm thinking about that right now.
Yeah, I mean, you know, this is my thing. It's kind of like what you said, Sonny. Is like you really do have to have these conversations multiple times. You have to really, and I like the one thing you said is that the way you had the conversation with her is so that she could hear you, right? And the thing is, just in case people don't realize what that means, the thing is that you can flip out on your kids, you can cuss them out, you can do all kinds of things, you can go all kinds of crazy. Thing is, when you do that, you're gonna lose them most of the time. Most of the time, they're either gonna ignore you, gonna chalk your actions up to you just being crazy or being unreasonable, or they're just gonna really just zone you out, or you know what I mean, like totally like just zone out on you and not even hear a word you're saying. So when you have these serious sit downs with them and make sure that you guys are focusing on the subject at hand, you're talking about the respect level that they're giving your home or the respect level you want them to give them to themselves. The thing is that you have to have those conversations so that they can hear you and that they can, not only react but be able to maybe even have a conversation. Because the thing is that if you just lay down the law, most of the time they just gonna jump over it anyway. They're gonna jump right over it and they're gonna do what they want. So when you get them to understand the reasoning, and you don't have to bend or conform for a kid. I'm not saying that. My thing is that you have to make sure that what you're putting out, they're picking up. So that there's no misunderstandings, there's no miscommunication. And the thing is that your kids.
Next time I go pop on you.
Right. Exactly. I was about to say that. The thing is no matter which way you explain something to a kid, just kind of what happened to Sonny, is they're gonna flip it on you. They're gonna twist it. They're gonna come up with another excuse for why they're doing what they're doing. You know what I mean? And so you have to maneuver with that because it's coming.
She was like, so we can sit outside. I said, yeah, I can sit outside. I said they can't go pee in here. Like if they got to go to the bathroom, they can't come in the house. Like I don't care. I want to sit outside, so on the porch, do that. But if I'm not in this house, if they got to go to the bathroom, they got to go home or pee outside somewhere. Find somewhere to go. Because they I don't care. They got the loose valve. They ain't come up in this house while I'm not here.
Right. I mean, because that's what they'll flip on you. They'll be like, oh, well, they wanted a glass of water, so I know you didn't want your glasses outside. They'll tell you anything to get their way. And you got
to red cups.
You got to close
right?
all the loopholes. You know what I mean? That's the thing. You got to close all the loopholes. And I mean, my parents would say, well, that's because y'all don't have control over y'all kids. We laid down the letter of the law, blah, 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 blah. It's like, yeah, but y'all just didn't know what we were doing. The thing is that, I mean.
My mom said we couldn't date. We was all dating. We had boyfriends after boyfriends after boyfriends.
Exactly.
We can't date. I'm going to the prom. I can't bring a date.
Right.
The date right there.
And I consider myself a good kid, but I know I was out there doing dirt. I know it, I mean, we don't all been there, most of us. We don't all been there where we done did some things that we know our parents, never knew about or to this day still don't know about, that kind of thing. It was so funny. My mother told this girl a long time ago that I had took on a date or something, and she told her something to the effect of she didn't know that I even cussed until like a week before that, and I was in my mid-20s. Like she didn't even know, like she didn't even realize. You know what I'm saying? So it's certain things that go on, and your parents don't even realize because they, you either hide it from them or whatever. Your kids are doing the same thing to you. You know what I'm saying?
I was alcoholic for most of my high school year. My mom didn't even know. None of her business. It was none of her business.
Right. So, and the one thing that one of my good friends told me was that, no matter how slick you think you are and how good you think you are as a parent, that you think you got everything under control, it creates a better kid, a slicker kid. It creates a more sneakier kid. So, all the roadblocks you put up, they build in better ladders to get over them. So, you always got to be on your toes anyway. So, just get ahead, like Damon said, get ahead of it. Start them early. And then that's what I say. That's the reason why I think I was telling somebody about that whole 2 to 4 year old thing. Tell your kids as much as you can when they young. You can't tell them about sex when they're 4 years old, but you know what I mean. I'm just saying, you get ahead of them in a lot of things. start talking to them early. You know, talk to them when they 1 and 2. You know, you start telling them right or wrong from then. Like, don't knock this over. Don't push your little brother. Don't fight people. Don't do this. Don't do that. Don't. By the time they do something and you haven't told them about it, you're starting to lose the battle. So you got to start getting ahead of them before they get into these situations. You know what I'm saying? And like, for me, you know, I had the benefit of older kids, right? So I was able to see certain things happen, start guessing and gauging when certain other things would happen with the younger kids, and be able to kind of get ahead of it. So, like with my youngest daughter, you know, she had she pretty much was powerless. You know what I'm saying? Because I done went through three girls already. So she, you know, actually 4. So she's sitting there, you know, trying to do things, and I'm already ahead of her. I'm already telling her up front, or I'm getting, you know, getting ahead of the game, or stalking her, you know, whatever it takes to make sure that I keep her in line. I mean, you know, thank God all my other 3 girls made it out just fine, but you know, I'm still on the prowl. I'm still trying to make sure that everything, you know, it works out with these 2 young ones. But you know, that's the thing. You got to get ahead of it. You got to stay on top.
And you know what helped me out when I was growing up was my mom used examples of my 2 older brothers, which thank God they had kids when I was a lot younger, and they all came over at the house at the same time. Sometimes she make me babysit, and she's like, well, this is what a teenage person without a father and a mother goes through. If both parents aren't there, say if I had a kid out of wedlock, this is your life. You can't do anything but watch this kid and take care of your kid. You can't have fun anymore. You can't do this. You can't do that. So I did stay out of trouble with that because I saw my brothers struggling in their mid-20s, early 30s, struggling with 2 kids. Now 3, sorry.
Yeah.
So that kept me out of trouble.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, giving. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, no, I was just saying we got to wrap this show. So go ahead.
All right. No, I was about to make one last point about that. What you were saying, you know, giving kids an example is definitely a good idea, especially one that they can really relate to, because, you know, a lot of times trying to show them your example is not enough, especially when they look at adults, they kind of zone out on that. So if you show them other kids or teenagers or young adults that are closer to their age, what they're going through or what they're doing, it usually sticks a little bit better. So, yeah, definitely do that.
Yeah.
All right, that's all I have.
Yeah, Willie, I'm not the person.
Go ahead.
No, but we are about to wrap the show, and we don't want anybody to get cut off by the thing cutting us off. So thank you guys for joining us tonight. Thank you, caller, for calling in. Damon, thank you for being on the line as well. Yeah, feel free to call back in or join us anytime, you 2 caller. Definitely. You guys want to give out your information before we close out the show?
Y'all know what it is. Y'all can hit me up on my blog site, kingstruth.com, Instagram, kingstruth609. I've been on Twitter a lot lately. I fell in love with Twitter. Hit me on Twitter at eTrentonGroomy. That's eTrentonGroomy. And that's about it, people.
Willie?
Yes. It's your boy, Willie Styles. You can catch me at Willie Styles everywhere, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. You can get me at my blog, stylesradio.com, my other blog, AskWillieStyles.com, or just hit up my WillieStyles.info for all my links.
And, of course, it's your girl, Sunny. You can follow me on Instagram, Snapchat, and Twitter at IamSunny_D. On all 3. You can check out my personal blog, unreservedlyme.com. That one is fun. Definitely check out our website, gftradioshow.com. Hit up teespring.com/stores/GFT Radio to check out our merchandise, you know, support the podcast that way. Catch us on Google Play Music, iTunes, SoundCloud, YouTube, Blog Talk Radio, of course. Am I missing anything else, guys? We're on Instagram and Twitter at GFT_radio. Follow us on both Instagram and Twitter. Thank you again, callers. Callers, you want to do out your information if you have any, or?
I have like I'm an admin in a group page for Black Singles, and Rod Freeman is where you can find me out on Facebook.
Okay.
All right, dope.
All right, guys.
Y'all know what it is. Catch
my
us on
Twitter.
7 days. Oh, go ahead, bro.
Oh, real quick, my Twitter account is Agent D as in Damon 21, and that's it.
All right.
All right, guys.
All right, y'all. Catch y'all in 7 days.
Have a good night, folks.
All right, guys.
Stay out of trouble.
All right, have a good night, guys. Holla.